How's it going, everyone? My name is the Zan Man, coming at you feeling pretty magical in mid-January. In today's video, I would like to compare the finales of both Harry Potter, so Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 2, to the Stranger Things series finale, otherwise Stranger Things Season 5. On paper, they seem to be vastly different, Harry Potter and Stranger Things. They are set in two different time periods, or rather two different decades of time, They're set in different locations, and the characters and their personalities also appear to be vastly different as well. But when you look beneath the surface, they are actually somewhat similar as well. Stranger Things has various magical characters. You got Eleven, you got Vecna, you got Will as well. And then with Harry Potter, it's very inherently magical as well. It's the magical universe of Harry Potter. And also the connections between the villain and one of the main characters in both respective mediums is very similar as well. So with Harry Potter, Harry can look into Voldemort's mind from time to time, and whenever one of the characters destroys a Horcrux, Harry receives the same level of pain that Voldemort does. In Stranger Things, whenever Vecna is hurt, Will, who can also look into Vecna's mind, is also hurt as well. So in some respects they are similar, right? So that's one of the main motivators for me to make this video. And also, I want to compare them too, because I feel as though the reactions to both finales is radically different as well. When Deathly Hallows Part 2 came out, I feel as though the reaction and the reception to the finale was a lot better than what we're seeing right now with Stranger Things. The Stranger Things series finale is very, very controversial. There's a lot of people who are critiquing the finale and different things that happened, especially the script. And it's gotten so bad that some people thought that there was going to be a secret 9th episode that came out after the legitimate finale. Harry Potter, the books were already made. J.K. Rowling, I feel as though, had a better idea of what you want to do with her universe, and the reception thus to the finale and what happened with all these characters who survived, it was a lot better, I feel like. It was a lot better received. So I kind of want to compare the two, see what worked for both, what didn't work for both, and then kind of give my own take and own opinion. So let me first start off by discussing the scenes from both finales, specifically their impact and their duration. And I brought out the Max and Holly brickheads from my little display right there, because I felt as though this scene, where they're in Vecna's mind and they're about to escape from Camazotz, is a great example of how several scenes from Stranger Things Season 5 finale just lingered. And not in a good way. I felt as though this scene especially, where they're talking and they're about to escape, and the portal back to Hawkins opens up for Max. During that scene, where they're just talking and talking and talking, that to me was the worst scene from the finale of Stranger Things. Because we learned in Season 4 that the portal back to the real world does not last for long. You saw Max trying to escape, trying to run back to the real world and failing. She didn't make it. She was stuck in there. And so I feel as though that experience should have been pretty traumatic for her. And she sort of realized, oh, I need to pick up the pace. I need to run to that portal, and that way I'm back in Hawkins. I'm back in my body. Yes, I get it. Holly was there with her as well, and Holly couldn't go through the same portal with Max. However, did we need a exposition jump to get to that point? I felt as though they both see the portal, and Max starts running towards it, right? And then she realizes, oh wait, I'm with another person. She looks back and be like, hey, Holly, you can't go through this portal with me. You need to realize what's important to you, and that way you can go back to Hawkins. And Holly, she realizes, oh, family's pretty important. And she kind of realizes like the things in her life that would cause her portal to open up. I feel as though if it was that short, like maybe like a minute max, get it? I feel as though that would have been much more impactful, and that scene wouldn't have been as controversial. Even on Jimmy Fallon, when Sadie Sink, Max's actress, was there and talking about Stranger Things in the finale, she was like, yeah, that scene lasted way too long, and she even called it a podcast. She said it was like a podcast talk. If even one of your actresses in that scene is critiquing the scene and saying this didn't work, then maybe it didn't work. Maybe something should have changed. Let's go over to Harry Potter now. In Deathly Hallows Part 2, the scenes feel a lot more concise and a lot more purposeful. There's one scene in particular where Fred and George Weasley, they're on top of the clock tower or like some top part of the castle, and they're talking to each other. And they're like, hey, Freddy, are you scared? And I feel like that line itself kind of just encapsulates their relationship. George calling Fred Freddy, kind of like a silly little nickname. And then he's also being real with his brother, being like, hey, are you scared? Because they've never known a life apart from each other. So in that like 10-second, maybe 20-second interaction, you, one, understand their personalities. Two, you kind of get their dynamic. And three, you kind of get the stakes of this war. Because it is a war. It's the Battle of Hogwarts. I feel like that scene's a lot more impactful, it's a lot more concise, it's a lot more purposeful. And there's a lot of conversations and interactions, like one-on-one interactions, all throughout the movie, where there's just two characters talking. You see like the pandemonium around them, like students like rushing to different locations, trying to save themselves. And you kind of see the urgency of the scene. You see how different characters have different priorities and they have different objectives, and they can't really spend a lot of time talking to each other. Characters' line delivery and characters' reactions all throughout season 5 of Stranger Things was a big point of contention. But to me, the most noticeably off character was Millie Bobby Brown's 11. So, 11, of course, is a very strange character in Stranger Things. Season 3, she really shines as a character to me, in my opinion. And that is when she becomes best friends with Max. And so in season 3, you see this developing friendship, this developing bond between these two characters, and they're best friends. And like, you see the chemistry between the two actresses, and I think that's the best part of season 3, just like their friendship. I thought that was really good. Season 4, you don't see her nearly as much, but she's also separated from most of the other cast members. But then season 5, when she is now back with everyone, there's something off. I don't know if it's Millie Bobby Brown's fault. I don't know if she's one of those characters, one of those actors who is checked out. But I don't know. I just didn't really see that great a performance from her. I don't know if it's her herself. I don't know if it's a script. We'll get into the script a little bit later on in this video. I don't know, maybe it's a combination of the two, but let's talk about the scene where Max returns to the rest of the group, right? So everyone's hugging her, everyone's happy that she's back. You know, it's a really emotional moment for this whole cast. 11, she doesn't really react. She just kind of stands there, and it's really awkward, especially because they used to be best friends, and now they're not really interacting with each other. And even after this scene, you don't really see them interact with each other, despite them previously being best friends. I don't know, again, I don't know where the problem lies from it, but I did notice it, and it did bother me a little bit, honestly. But especially with the new cast of characters in Stranger Things, they really put their all, you know. You got delightful Derek. Derek, you know, he's the new character of the season, and he's great. He's delightful. He's not a dipshit. He's delightful Derek. He's such a funny character. He's so goofy and just so expressive, and I feel like he perfectly reacts to the scenes that he's in. He's a great character. I really liked him. Holly, she becomes very notable in this season, and I think the actress does a really good job as well. I really liked her performance as well. And I really like the scenes between her and Derek too. Dustin and Steve's relationship as well. I thought their scenes together, especially early on when there's animosity between the two of them, I thought that was great. Lucas, Max, they are also really good, and Lucas and Max are my two favorite characters from the show, and their relationship still flourishes in this season. I like that a lot. But again, there are characters who just fell off. With Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, I really didn't feel any characters were checked out. I really felt like everyone involved, barring whoever played Goyle. It was either Crabbe or Goyle who was with Draco Malfoy, like in the latter half of the movie, and like, I don't know, he didn't really react that much, but like he's such a minor character. But like everyone else is like one-on-one reactions, and like how everyone reacts to different scenes, I thought was phenomenal. Harry and Voldemort's dynamic, exceptional. And whenever Harry bumps into a different cast member, like when he's with Ginny and they kiss after Neville's like, oh, we need to like let those important to us know how we feel before like the battle really rages on. That was great. I really liked Harry and Luna's scene together. Fred and George's scene, I mentioned already. No one really felt checked out, and I really think that helped with the impact of the scene and helped with creating these impactful moments. So now let's get to my closing remarks for this video, right? I really like Stranger Things and Harry Potter. I think both universes are pretty cool, pretty exciting, and fresh. I like both universes. But how their finales are delivered to us and how they are executed by the showrunners and everyone involved in that process, how that was executed is very different between Harry Potter and Stranger Things. I think Harry Potter's was more impactful. I think it's was more narratively consistent. I think the characters brought a bit more with what they were given and helped to deliver a more satisfactory conclusion to the universe. Stranger Things finale, very controversial. I still liked it overall. I still think, as I mentioned in this video, there are plenty of things that I think did not go completely well. As a result, I think the finale for Harry Potter was better. I really do. Maybe that's due to the excitement from the actors to deliver a more grandeur finale. Maybe it's due to the script. Maybe it's due to how fleshed out the story was prior to us seeing this media played out, right? But yeah, Harry Potter gets the dub. That's going to do it for this video here today, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for letting me ramble for however long this video goes. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.